Hi guys, so we are back and I've got Rajesh with me again. And as promised, this is not going to be any ज्ञान session, no मीठा मीठा बात जो है वो real questions हैं जो हमको मिले हैं. And thank you so much. I did not see much of comments on YouTube or anywhere else, but a lot of people have given us questions on WhatsApp. So thank you so much. And literally, I mean, if I've tried to cover everything, but बहुत सारे questions similar थे, so I've grouped them together and made it like a one single flow. So we're going to ask Rajesh really the brutal questions. No sugarcoating, raw truth. Some questions which people have not answered yet. Maybe he's able to answer it. Let's see. So Rajesh, are you ready?
Yeah, I am. So I will not go anything scientific. So I'll explain it from a very layman's term, which is what I do better because I understand the science, but there are things which is when the science stops and it's more of art.
Exactly. So let's dive in. No gyan, no science, just something which we are able to understand.
Absolutely.
So the first question we have is once I'm on diet and when I go back to my usual course, I gain weight. Also, my vitals would go back what it was earlier. So फिर diet करे क्यों?
It's a good question. So my counter thing is, why do you want a diet? So what you do is you fix your nutrition. I generally consider that most of us eat healthy 80% of the time, 20% of the time we eat here and there. But the 80%, the good food should be assimilated in the stomach and then turned into nutrition for the body to work properly. So that is where the fixing needs to be done. It could be even be the kind of food that you eat or the variety of food, etc. So that's in simple what happens. So that is a overstated, over-marketed term, and changing just one element like adding dates suddenly, and then suddenly somewhere you add something else, quinoa and things like that doesn't work. That the body has to be approached in a very holistic way.
So the follow-up question is, which are we saying that the reason our elders and grandfathers and great grandfathers and parents were healthy is because उनका diet ही ऐसा था. It's it's not the time when, like you said, कि 80% हम सही खा रहे, 20% is so-called junk. In those age, in that period, there was no junk, and they were eating healthy, and that was the diet. And now we are coining this word diet as something which is not the routine. Is that something what it really means?
So, the thing about our ancestors, or even one generation behind our dads and moms, right? They ate everything at time. They had time for breakfast, they had time for lunch, they had time for tea, and they had a time for dinner. That's the very simple rule that you follow the time and you eat the food that you have been eating for ages. They never shifted. One day they will eat pizza, one day they had this morning breakfast, which is fixed 2 or 3 dishes, which could get rotated in the week. The afternoons used to be the same, and they used to have the same time. And their body adapted over a period of time. So you would find that they would also go into the diabetic state or metabolic health state. But that would be in their 60s and 70s, not like today where you're at the 40s and your body is like 60s and the 70s. And people think that exercising without sleeping is a great thing. They'll binge watch, go for a run the next day morning. It all takes toll on the body. It is just not diet. It's an entire lifestyle issue. So that's the way I would put it. So one is discipline, two is know your body's rhythm, and three, rest is more important than actually taxing.
Okay, so the next question is, and again, something which a lot of people have asked. I'm more concerned about losing weight, as that is what is the main problem. I mean, weight is the main problem. But your talk is all about vitals and nothing about weight.
Okay. So it is directly related, right? If your vitals are not right, your weight is bound to increase. So if you look at it like what was your weight in age 20 and what was your weight in age 40, even if you are like a kilo a year, so you're easily put on 20 kilos of weight. Now that has not just come because you know things like you have not eaten properly or anything. There is a deterioration that happens over the years, and you're just not bothered to know what your body is telling you. You're not listening to your body, and so that 20, which is a normal progression, which which could have been arrested, but that 20 becomes 40 in no time. Today, your blood work, at least in India, gives you a very good 90% view of what is coming up. This is this is what, as functional nutritionists, we very, very minutely look. And also, what has been your medical history? What is the kind of medicines and other things that have gone into your system? Medicine does a job in your body which changes the pathophysiology. For example, people who are on blood pressure medicine for the last 40 years, they will eat the same pill, which means there are other parts which get affected. So it is your primary duty to see that you check with your doctors for the medications going up or down. You need to put in lifestyle which helps you lower your blood pressure, keeps it under control. This is all your responsibility. This is not your health insurance or your doctor's responsibility. Okay, that's my.
So here's the next one, and I pretty much like this question.
Yeah.
Something that I also relate to. मेरे दिमाग में भी था ये.
I can see it in your face.
So how long can I be on diet? Not eating vada pavs, burgers, pizza, sev puri, chaat. कब तक नहीं खाऊंगा?
Uh, it's a good question. So let me break it into two. One is, if you have a metabolic problem, I think fix that first, and then you can sometimes have. There is no restriction that you should not have. If you are metabolically healthy, then you can eat it. So डाइट पे पहले तो समझो कि डाइट क्यों करना है. अगर तुम ये सोच रहे हो कि बिकॉज आई एम ओवरवेट आई शुड डाइट, then that is wrong. Understand where the problem is. Is it your thyroid problem? Is it a metabolic, like, is it a pre-diabetic, insulin resistance? There are a lot of things that are there today, right? You can understand. So unless you fix that, this is not going to go out. So I understand the craving, but then first आप इसको fix करो, and then you can have. There is nothing that stops you from not having this. I don't mean every day कि आप 4 बजे जाके नीचे वड़ा पाव खाओ और नीचे भेलपुरी खाओ, but you enjoy life in those moments, right? Don't make it a habit. That's all.
Interesting. And there is a follow-up question on this. So India right now, we are in a season which is on for wedding. I'm sure everybody is going to go into at least 1 or 2 weddings coming the next 2 months.
Yeah.
उसके बाद Christmas है, तो travel होगा. Corporates like us, we've got a lot of events coming up. Off-sites हो रहे हैं, all that. When I go there, when I go for these weddings and all, the question is, वहाँ पे जाके मैं खाऊंगा क्या? Because वक्त तो मुझे डाइट नहीं मिलने वाला है. If you tell me not to eat these that rice and all that, what do I eat? So much of peer pressure. लोग बोलते हैं, अरे ये नहीं खाया तो क्या खाया? तुम लाइफ एंजॉय नहीं कर. How do I tackle that?
Very simple thing that you do is, any meal that you have, start with a salad. Okay?
Exotic salad?
Not exotic salad. Even a onion with a little lime on it, even one piece of that is a uh, good enough for your digestion to understand and be ready for the next worms that you're going to place into the
So
digestion.
basically start with kakri, tomato.
Yes, simple चीजें, जिससे कि आपका जो सिस्टम है, जिस सीक्वेंस में आपका डाइजेशन फायर होना चाहिए, वो हिसाब से फायर होगा. लेट्स नॉट गेट इनटू द साइंस. There's a very deep understanding, and there is a lot of science that has gone into understanding sequencing of the food. So first is to create that layer in the stomach which will kind of slow down the gastric load on the stomach, and then slowly pass on that to your bloodstream. So that's the idea. So what you do is, जैसे सुबह सुबह तुमको पोहा खाने का है, ये खाने का है, तो पोहा में ऐसे भी तुम सिंग डालते हो, तो 1 स्पून सिंग पहले खा लो, फिर पोहा खाओ. तो that that helps your body in helping digestion come on its own pace. There is what is we call as area under the curve. So when you eat a food, the food has to rise and then slowly come down. That's the 2-hour curve, right? And the distance is called the area under curve. When you eat something which is very spiky, that you eat suddenly, you eat sugar, you will see it will rise and then it that is not good for the body, because the moment it falls down, then again hunger pangs come. This is the problem with all the processed food that you eat. That spike comes up, that goes down, you are again hungry. So अगर आपने 8 बजे खाना खाने का छोड़ के चिप्स खाया, in an hour's time, you will again be searching for chips and other things. But if you had an 8 o'clock dinner, it will not do that because that. So simple, शादी में कुछ भी खाने से पहले टमाटर, काकड़ी या ऑनियंस खाओ, और कुछ नहीं तो साथ में चना लेके घूमो, एक मुट्ठी चना खाओ और फिर जो दिख रहा है वो आप खा सकते हो।
I'm going to try this. I'm definitely going to try this. Please try. Okay. You also mentioned, and this is again, people have been talking about supplements. So last we met and we talked about supplements are necessary to give you additional boost and vitamins and minerals. So now, aren't these form of medicines? The वो भी तो pill ही है, तो why might as well pop those other pills and eat whatever we like rather than not eating something and adding supplement pills.
Yeah. So fundamental question, why do you eat? So why you eat is carbs, amino acids, fatty acids, three things which the body requires. And there's a lot of other things which the body requires, magnesium. There's a lot of other minerals which it requires, magnesium, selenium, vitamin D, things like that, right? Now, how do you get this? Through your food. If the food doesn't provide, how is the body going to get it? Correct? Now, in India, we have this concept, because the supplement looks like a capsule, it is medicine. And so that's untrue. A medicine, remember, changes the pathophysiology of the body. Okay, it is there to solve a problem. The, the supplement is there to help your body to heal itself, because today's, for example, magnesium, right, is there to support about 400 functions in the body. To support that much functions, you need some dosage of magnesium. So it's like 400 mg of, and it is recommended that you need at least 400 mg of magnesium food, more the better. But today's green vegetables don't give you that because of the soil erosion, the kind of fertilizer. So by adding a supplement called magnesium, you support the body. So जहाँ पे मान लो कि आपको 10 यूनिट चाहिए, आपके पास 6 यूनिट है, 4 यूनिट का कमी बॉडी नहीं पूरा कर सकता, because it is required to take the nutrition. And that 4 then becomes 40, and then it creates other set of problem, because it will only address the issues which will make you live. It is not interested कि आपका पैर दुख रहा है, ये दुख रहा है. That is not the body's interest. The body's primary role is to keep you alive. Please remember, and it will do everything to keep you alive. That's it.
So basically, जैसे हम बोलते हैं विटामिन डी डेफिशिएंसी, न्यूक्लियोटाइड डेफिशिएंसी, which is very very common in India. We pop those pills are not actually medicine, but those are supplements to give you that added benefit of absorbing vitamins and minerals along with food, and then also take this as a medicine,
Yes.
as a supplement.
Yes. So vitamin D you take, B12. These are the most common, because after COVID, doctors have beautifully write 2 lines: vitamin D 60 KU, vitamin B12, neuroboron. That's the famous brand that goes around. But there's a way to have supplements also, but we'll not get into that. Yes. So that's primarily not a medicine, just because the doctor writes in his prescription that those are supplements. Those are meant to give you support. And please remember, whenever you take medicines, you require extra supplements, because medicines also require supplement to come up with their functions. Any function requires something called as a cofactor, मीनिंग कि अभी आप खाना बनाते हो तो सिर्फ खाना मतलब पत्ते नहीं डालते ना, गोभी का पत्ता नहीं, उसमें नमक भी डलता है, थोड़ा हल्दी भी डलता है, थोड़ा तो हल्दी मिर्ची ये सब सप्लीमेंट है। तो ऐसा ही आपके बॉडी के लिए ये सब सप्लीमेंट भी लगता है मेडिसिन काम करने के।
All right, let's move on. Very basic questions, and this is something which again even I have in mind because I've stopped eating this. Is meat really bad? And meat is not just meat. मतलब हम सब बात कर रहे हैं रोटी से लेके पाव भाजी and vada pav, so basically bread, pizzas, and everything which is refined flour, white flour, brown breads, everything.
So wheat has something called as gluten, which is a protein which irritates the stomach. Okay, over the years there has been modifications on the wheat and the amount of wheat. So if you look at our previous generation, we used to eat flour, basically chapatis and something here and there. But today, our morning, oh, every client that I meet has to have tea and 2 biscuits. Sir, only 2 biscuits I have. I am not eating too much, but that 2 biscuits is like a bomb that you give it every day and it creates problem. The problem is wheat has gluten. Gluten irritates the stomach lining, and then over a period of that, that lining erodes, and then suddenly you find that there is a food leakage which goes directly to the bloodstream and things. There's a lot of complications that happens, and that is why most of us get this bloating, gas, acidity, things like that. So you don't have to be completely off wheat for your lifelong, but there is something called as elimination diet. Again, the word diet is there. But what I say is that over a couple of months, you stay away from wheat, let the stomach heal through supplements and other things, and then you can have wheat in small quantities. So it's like that. It's a, as I said, the science is there. It is more art to actually look at wheat from a different perspective.
Okay. So from food grains to something back on weight, but in a different form. So, and I have personally asked this question. It's come up again in a different form. Looking lean makes people think I'm weak. How do I tackle that? This is something which I asked him when I
Yeah, I get that a lot because the last week only I was there at somebody's house and uh, the uh, the lady of the house was very upset that I don't have any muscles and
I've seen that.
I
Personally, right? So when I lost 7 kilos in first 2 months,
yeah.
and it was like, not lean, you gone weak. And then it's not about losing weight. The first question people ask me, क्या हो गया? सब ठीक है? तबीयत ठीक नहीं है? Because you're looking so lean. So lean is weak. Uh,
Yeah, and you need to have a little belly and things like that for the Indian.
chubby दिखना
हाँ,
चाहिए.
थोड़ा सा मतलब मोटा नहीं लेकिन थोड़ा सा गुदगुदा या थोड़ा सा ये तो so the problem is in about 2004 2007 there was a paper called the YY paradox, and that's an important scientific paper. Okay, you can Google YY paradox and it will list you down. See, genetically, for us Indians, we have to eat our body mass index, which everybody goes like 23, but 24 is good, and 24 is bad for India, for the Indians. It has to be in the range of 22 and below. If you're 23, you're like midway. So, what does the YY paradox says? Like at the same BMI, we carry more fat than our Western counterparts.
Interesting.
And why that happens is because our genetically our genes are thrifty in the sense that for whatever reasons, let's not get into the science, we accumulate more fat out of the food than a Western counterpart. So instead of if you can eat 100, we should eat 50 and kind of things like that. So that's why your new mantra is you should look lean and you should see your jawline. The, the transformation of metabolic health, you will realize in your second innings. I always tell that 40s and 50s are your beginning of second. About second inning, your knee is straining. You don't know which side of the bed you are waking up. लाइफ में क्या करने का मालूम नहीं, पैसा है, सब कुछ है लेकिन क्या करने का मालूम नहीं है. So all this requires a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm within. If you are internally brought down by the system and will function. So please Google YY paradox. If you don't understand, put in more questions because I have really set all my foundations on that YY paradox. And that's what's called the thin fat Indian phenomena, right? We joke that हम ऊपर से पतले हैं, नीचे से भी पतले, खाली थोड़ा सा पेट निकला है, थोड़ा सा. और वो थोड़ा सा जो पेट है ना, उधर ही सब प्रॉब्लम है.
So basically, you're saying जो obese का definition US के लिए है, मतलब वो डेफिनेशन, वो मेजरमेंट इंडिया के लिए अलग होता है. हैज टू बी समथिंग व्हिच इज in the same by paradox that India, if you are looking a little fat or little chubby, could be the signals of getting obese in your early.
Absolutely. You check his vitals. He will be insulin resistance. There are simple two rules of finding out whether you're one simple rule. Hip to waist ratio. Okay. टेप लेके मेजर करो. अगर वो 0.9 के नीचे है तो यू आर हेल्दी. एनीथिंग अबाउ यू आर ऑन द वे टू बिकमिंग मेटाबॉलिक अनहेल्दी. एंड द सेकेंड थिंग इज जो आप कोलेस्ट्रॉल चेक करते हो ना, आप एचडीएल का वैल्यू लो, ट्राइग्लिसराइड का वैल्यू लो, उसको डिवाइड करो. अगर इफ एनीथिंग इज अबाउ 1.5 यू आर अगेन ऑन दैट पाथ.
Okay, interesting. This is something.
बिकॉज सब आंटी एंड अंकल्स नो कि कोलेस्ट्रॉल में करने का क्या, लेकिन एक्चुअली वैल्यूज को देख के वो क्या बताता है वो नहीं मालूम है. तो एक रेशियो आता है, ट्राई एचडीएल टू ट्राइग्लिसराइड रेशियो. ओके, दैट इज द मोस्ट. even before you check your blood is pre-diabetic HbA1c, this ratio will tell you you're on the move towards getting metabolically unhealthy.
Okay.
This ratio should be below
I'm
1.5.
going to check that. That's a good one. Okay, so from all this, we go on a little different topic, and only one person asked this, and I really wanted to put this out. With so many people talking about sleep, right? What is peaceful sleep, and how many hours one sleep? I'll add a little bit here. Isn't really important.
So sleep is it important is a very good question. So they're like asking why is there not sun 24/7, right? Why there is moon and things. It is a it is by nature that we have to rest and sleep. And I'm not saying that 8 hours is the cutoff or something. Anything between 6 to 8 hours is good. It really depends from individual to individual how sleeping. But as I said, resting when it is dark is very, very important. You can actually see if you have those smart watches and things like that, you will see how a disturbed sleep gives your energy levels, sleep levels, and how a normal sleep. So, cutting into the night like हम 11 बजे नहीं सोएंगे, 12-1 बजे सोएंगे. There is something called as circadian rhythm. Okay? And there are a lot of books and other things and other studies which I've done on the circadian. If you fix your circadian rhythm itself, 30 to 40% or more than 50% of your problem starts getting resolved.
Oh, just it's
How important sleep is. And and, and and sleep is fundamental like you breathe. If you don't sleep, you are headed for trouble.
so. ठीक है ना मतलब during the week I'm sleeping all 5 nights peacefully from whatever 12 o'clock 7 o'clock 8 o'clock. But Saturday Sunday को मतलब Friday night Saturday night weekend nights it's good to binge, good to go out party. तो वो though that I did not get enough sleep or the rhythm is broken, will that affect my health?
So does sunrise and dual cups every day
Okay.
on their time. So it's as simple as that.
Okay, I get it. Okay. So again, that was the follow-up. So in the life we live today, and I think we have already answered it. In the life we live today, how is it practically possible to go to sleep by 11 p.m.?
So practically, it is not possible to sleep even 5 hours, 6 hours. Like you want to work 24/7 क्योंकि तुम इंडिया में हो तो जब यूएस मार्केट खुलता है तो रात रहता है और जब यूएस होता है तो इंडिया मार्केट चालू होता है. तो life happens. But see, life is not about 24/7 chasing something, right? You chase, you achieve, you again chase. It is about living. And living is a different purpose. Why do you live? What is the purpose of life? Is another philosophical question. But you need to rest and you need to work and you need to enjoy life. Okay. We will have life's ups and downs. This is all part and parcel of what is called as life. So don't challenge it and don't undermine it. You can't sprint a marathon. You can't sprint a marathon. Please understand that. The marathon has to be run in a particular way. Everybody has its own pace where you will take off, you will slow down, you will drink water, you will. So similarly is life. So you have to take it that.
Okay. All right. Somebody is asking about hack. What are mindset hacks for the health balanced life? Aiming for fitness and weight management before a doctor makes it mandatory. मतलब डॉक्टर के पास गए एक कुछ लफड़ा हुआ बॉडी पे and then he says कि बॉस हो गया आपका now you have to follow this. Is there something which I can in like my daily life which is so called hack is about which people do something.
So I kind of hate the word hack for body because life is not a mechanical, chemical, or whatever you can say, or spiritual, right? It's an encompassed set of things which cannot be distinguished like a horse chariot, right? The horse chariot is not the horse, not the wheels, not the seat, things like that. It's an encompassed thing. So an encompassed thing works only as its parts are good, right? So what you are saying is that if I kind of one part goes off, that is fine because the entire other whole thing is standing. It cannot, right? अगर चार पहिया है एक पहिया निकाल दोगे तो गाड़ी गिर जाएगी. So there is no, it is not a machine or it is not something which you need to look at it. It's a very, first of all, you need to ask yourself what is the purpose of life, right? So one is life, second is death, and then whatever you can say. But this is a constant, right? Between it is the whole story. So I would say that the biggest hack is discipline. It has to start with discipline. Without discipline, you will not find anything in life because does the sun come out one day at 6 o'clock and the other day at 8 o'clock? No. Nature works. So बारिश के बाद विंटर आता है, विंटर के बाद समर आता है, एंड दिस हैज नेवर चेंज. फॉरगेट अबाउट व्हाट वी से जुलाई में होना था, अगस्त में हो गया, बट दिस इज कांस्टेंट, व्हिच मींस द फर्स्ट थिंग इज it is discipline, and discipline, without discipline nothing happens.
Okay, so which basically says no hacks, guys. Okay,
Gymnastics मतलब क्या? I mean, this is not something is a sci-fi movie, right? You suddenly insert a chip and you say, "Oh, hey, get up, shoot him."
okay. Last five questions. So these are little away from serious, but again, something which people would like to know. Are you saying, and this starts with something like you mentioned in our first discussion, I can know that this person may become diabetic 10 years in.
Yes.
If that is the case, why are doctors able to predict or look at the vitals at the lab tests and all, and get this person to avoid getting diabetic?
So A is, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know why doctors can't predict. That would be very wrong of me to say, anything about how they function because I've never sat on that chair. The second is how do you predict? So again, I would say whose responsibility is it to live life of abundance, of knowing what is what? It is yours, right? And so I think it falls on you to take your blood report after and eat his head. I mean, ask him what this means. He will brush you away once, he will brush you away twice, but then go and find out. And there is a lot of there's a lot of gray area. So I think what you all should do is catch off hold somebody who is holistic, who understand blood work, somebody like from coming from a functional medicine background, who can tell you what the blood markers are, what it means. And वो छोटे से टेबल लेने के लिए आप लोग गूगल करते हो, फाइंड आउट कि बॉस ये मेरा रेंज है, यूज take the cholesterol and enter the entire value in ChatGPT and ask it what all can I interpret from this. Very simple. उसके लिए पैसा भी नहीं लगता है. It will tell you कि boss ये means this. and ask it from a functional perspective, what all it is affecting.
Okay, very interesting. Um, so a little.
And let me warn you, don't ask ChatGPT to give you a hack for that. Understand where the problem is and then use common sense to how to go about fixing that problem.
Yeah.
No hacks. boss. And see, ऐसा है ना कि your entire life is about evolution, and this is billions years of evolution. So there is nobody who, whatever knowledge we have is about 100, 200, 400, 500 years old, right? We could gather. And 500 years is like 5 minutes in a whole day, which you understand the body very well that you can go and reverse engineer. You can't do that. Yeah, medicine is advanced. It can fix a lot of diseases, but I don't fundamentally believe in hacks.
Okay. Now these next four are a little more brutal. If you found this one not difficult, uh, if your methods work, why doesn't everyone follow them?
What is that?
So if your methods work, you're saying reverse engineering, maintaining your sugar levels and vitals and all. And if your whatever you call it as a course or a direction, if these are working, why is everybody not following?
That's a good question. It again boils down the question of discipline. Is what your priority is, right? Your priority is today, as I see, the priority is to reach somewhere, be successful. So fundamentally, a couple of days I was reading a book. So what does success mean? Is it making $300 million? Is it getting 5 medals in the Olympics? Okay, and being the number one company in the world for the next 10 years. So question number one, how does success mean making $300 million? Well, Mike Tyson made $300 and then he went bankrupt. 5 medals, Mary Jones caught in a drug scandal, missed. So success is something which you have to define. And this is about going into values. And as values, how much values do you? What do you value as a human being? These are all things, questions which are beyond diet, beyond what. You know, why do you wake up in the morning and do what you're doing? If you don't understand that, I'm sorry, you're in the last of the chains.
Okay, that was very serious, very deep. Okay. What is one thing most people refuse to accept, even after you have explained it like n number of times?
That I'm unhealthy.
So basically, guys, what has happened is in the whole conversation, and this is what my interpretation is, everything has been passed on to us as a person who really, like the question to be asked and little deeper now again is, are we really serious about our own health?
Yes.
The whole,
I always tell people, right? Health insurance will pay your bill, but not your health. It has no way connection to your health. Your health is in your hands.
okay,
And don't expect that the doctor will give you some magic pill. And so if you know cholesterol and if you know the medicine that the doctor gives, it's called statins as a common word. Look how many statins are there. A, B, C, D. There are various names of different statins. So if if statins were a solution, then you should have only one medicine, but it is not so. So that should ponder a question: what exactly does cholesterol do in my body rather than good bad? And what is it? Where am I? Is it good? It is bad for me. It's again individual.
okay, brings us to the last question. Okay, what is the biggest lie we believe about food, being healthy, being lifestyle, all the names of different types of diet floating around on social media? And somebody say, "Achha, maine ye kiya and I've done this." Ask me, where does this all lead to? What is that big lie we have kind of accepted as a truth in our life?
So when you watch somebody on screen, right? Uh, there is a bond that you build. It's called, I think, parasocial. or something like that. I forget the word. But then you start imbibing those looks, those personalities. So you have this sets of people that you like, set of people that you don't like. So the set that you like, you start accepting that has the truth for you, the gospel truth. And the other is people that say, even if they say and you don't like them, it is not good for you. So that's
So basically, what we are saying is, if people like you, is only when people will believe whatever you've said.
yes.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Because see, for example, the first time they hear me, they would say, "Kya bakwas kar raha hai?" Once they start interacting with me, they know that where I'm coming from, what I'm speaking. I've not said any science in the last 20, 30 minutes that we spoke. I've not spoken anything which is from this and that and all. Said clear. So clear cut things which one should do in daily life. If you don't understand that or don't want to believe, it is facing the truth, right? If I am fat, I am fat. Now, being fat, am I healthy? If I'm healthy, I don't should not care because there is not one body type, right? Everybody cannot go lean. So if you were born chubby, you will stay chubby. If you were born lean, you will still lean. These are aspects of the nature and the genetics and other things which you can't change. But what you can change is the epigenetics, the environment around the genes to keep you healthy, and that's most important.
Thank you. That was very intense. And I guess I thought it would be like a 10-15 minutes chat, but I think it's taken a long time here. So guys, that's all for now for Rajesh, but that does not mean you cannot ask more questions. You can, like I've shared earlier, I'll put it again, the WhatsApp numbers, and you already have YouTube link over here when you're watching this video. Share your questions. He's happy to help, happy to answer them. Again, more brutal questions, more truth you get about what's happening around you in terms of health, wellness, function, nutrition, how you read your Bibles, and everything. So yeah, that's that. I hope you like this. Leave your comments. Let us know if this is exactly what you would like to uh, watch and see and hear in the next few rounds of episodes from different aspects of life, not just helping, could be anything else. And if you want me to get Rajesh again, I'm happy to do that again. So we'll wait for your response, and that's that. Any closing thing, that's Rajesh?
Thanks, Vishal. I think I may have drifted here and there, but the fundamental question is your health lies in your hands. So it is for you to understand, work on it, and like I say, right, Sachin never required a coach, but there was always a coach, and there is aspects of things which you can't see for yourself, and at times coach helps. So everybody should fundamentally not try to market, but look at something as a health coach, not your gym instructor. Okay, there's no uh, gym instructor or anything. You should understand from a holistic perspective what the body is, what the mind is, what the soul is, what spirituality is, all those things. Then listen to the guy, listen to the gal, and follow them to an extent, how much you can. Nothing about restriction. It is all about accepting things the way it is and then just take step by step. That's it.
I think that was brutal closing, I would say, Rajesh, because brutal answer here is, like you said, our health, our responsibility. Nobody else can literally help you if you are not too serious about it.
Yes, that's true. If you don't sleep, I mean, how can I help you?
Yeah, yeah, brutal answers, no sugarcoating. It's up to us how we accept it or not accept it. Thank you, guys. See you later. Have fun.
Thank you.